Join me on the next episode of Quarantined with Lavell, when I'll be talking to my friend and buddy, John Jones from JCJonesBootcamp, about a pretty scary and uncomfortable subject, health and wellness. I don't know about you, but during the course of this quarantine, I put on a few extra pounds. But I do believe that it's time for us as the people of God, and as a people in general, to start taking care of the bodies and the temples that God has entrusted us with. So join me on Thursday, July the 23rd at 6:30 p.m. as John Jones from JC Jones Bootcamp teaches us his slogan, which is act right plus eat right equals get right. Join us as we discuss this and more on the next episode of Quarantined with Lavell. See you Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on the Kneel Down Productions Facebook group page or on the YouTube channel LNeil23. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Quarantined with Lavell. I am super excited. We're going to have a phenomenal show tonight. Believe it or not, this is our 11th show. So we're going on 3 months. Next week will be 3 months. And I have a special program next week. Going to be rolling out some new things for the show. So just in honor of going into 3 months. So I definitely want to say that I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in so faithfully. I have to give a shout out to my lovely wife, LaKenya, who next week I'm going to make an announcement. I'll hold it. I'm going to hold it. She doesn't even know yet, but I'll make that announcement on next week about her. But she is always there. She's helping me with the show, helping me pick guests and, just formatting the show, and she stays on me and makes sure that I'm on it. So I appreciate my lovely wife. Amen. My mother-in-law said, "Congratulations, son." Thank you, mother. Thank you for always tuning in, always sharing this, and always being a support. And I have to give a shout out to my uncle, Uncle Will. He is always watching. He doesn't have Facebook, but he's on YouTube, and he calls his friends and tells them to tune in on the YouTube channel LNeil23. So I truly appreciate him, and got to give a shout out to my mother. My mother is always there, always supporting. She actually forgot a couple of times and kind of went off on me. Was like, "Why didn't you remind me?" Every single Thursday. But anyway, I sent her a text to make sure that she tuned in. So I appreciate her. So before we get started with my special guest, who is the owner of JC Jones Bootcamp, John C. Jones. We're going to talk to him about health and wellness. But before we do, I have to give a shout out to my barber, my boy, Steve White III. He got me hooked up. Today was my first day going to the barbershop since March. And my hair grows fast weekly. So when I walked in, Steve looked at me and was like, "Yikes." he put his hands together, because anybody that knows Steve knows that Steve is up for a challenge, and he got me together. I told him I wanted to keep the fro look. My wife liked it, so she said just thin out the beard like a chin strap, and I said, hey, okay, you know, that's my wife. That's what she likes, right? So that's what I did. So I give shout out to Steve. Listen, if you need to be taken care of, you need to hit up my boy Steve White on Facebook. It's Imago Dei, which is Latin for image of God. So make sure you hit up Steve White to get that fresh cut. And I want to give a shout out to his daughter, which is my goddaughter, Taylor. Taylor started her own business. Isn't that a blessing? So she makes like keychains, and you have to go check them out. You can follow her on Facebook. Her name is Taylor White, but the name of her business that she started during this quarantine, which I thought was awesome, is called Katana Creations. Her middle name is Katana. So definitely wanted to give her a shout out. Make sure you get you a keychain there. Each one is custom made. Steve showed me today. I don't have one yet. So I'm going to be purchasing one for myself and for my wife. So Taylor, I'm going to text you to make sure that you have ours ready. All right. So again, make sure you hit up Taylor White on Facebook for Katana Creations. Get your keychain. And then my boy Steve White, who actually is a part of the Doctors of Comedy. And my guest tonight is a part of the Doctors of Comedy. We're not going to talk about comedy tonight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a show where I have all the doctors on. Myself, John, Steve, Reneko, and our founder, Eric L. Walker. We're going to have a show where we just talk about bringing the funny as the Doctors of Comedy. So we have to do that. All right. Well, without further ado, I want to bring in a man that I have been knowing for just about 20 years. We have done plays together. We have done comedy together. And he started his boot camp, and it is a boot camp, but it's very, very, very helpful. So please help me welcome my friend, my brother, John C. Jones from JCJonesBootcamp.
Hey,
John, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. I'm actually honored that you'd have me on.
Oh my God, man. You are about to help us out tremendously. So I definitely appreciate you being on. So thank you so much, my brother. And I know you have a busy schedule, and we're going to talk about your schedule and when you do the boot camps, and even in the quarantine, it didn't stop you.
No, I couldn't stop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. So John, let's start out by just telling us a little bit about yourself, right? You can start wherever you want to. What made you want to, but make sure you go into what made you want to start a boot camp, and to, you know, what inspired you to help people out?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a funny thing. When I was 10 years old, I started martial arts class. Okay. And right as I started, I had about 3 to 4 parents approach me with their kids to pay me $2 a week to teach them what I was learning as I was learning in karate class. So my basement, we take my pillowcase, fill it up with clothes, tie my white belt around it, put it on the beam in the basement. That was a heavy bag, and we'd go to work. The funny thing is, in the ages of 11 and 12, I was drawing out what I wanted my gym to look like and all the different types of training apparatuses I came up with. And I had a dream of having my own facility. Well, of course, life happens, and I went on into school. And when I was playing football for the little while I was playing, I was the guy you came to find out how to get your chest swollen. When I got up in college and decided I would run Hubbard stairs 9 floors, 9 times a day, looked up and I had 20, 30 people following me. But then, of course, as life went on, I never thought about translating that into a business. Well, then I got up to about, once I got married and wife got pregnant, I got pregnant with her, and gained up with 70 pounds and wound up going up to just under 290 pounds. Got a scare from the doctor telling me that I was going to get high blood pressure, closing in high blood pressure because it was hereditary, and diabetes because it was hereditary, and naming off all the different things that were wrong with me and trying to give me medications, and decided I didn't like the idea. And that's when I went on my own quest and dropped in 12 weeks about 65 pounds. In the gym, found myself helping people because it was just my nature. I see people doing stuff wrong, wanting to help them, and couldn't help but catch the eye cuts I was getting from these different dudes around the gym, trying to figure out what was wrong. And so one person told me, well, these are personal trainers and they get paid to do what you're doing for free. Then I found out what they got paid and decided maybe that's something I want to look into. So started personal training. It was highly lucrative as a side business. And then around 2008, the economy broke down. And when the economy broke down, I started losing clients and moving down south, started seeing people fall off because they couldn't afford it. And I was used to giving a level of training and of dietary information and education that I didn't want to stop. My sound too. How can I turn sound down? That I didn't want to stop making available, but at the same time, I had to find a way to make it palatable that people could actually to make it happen. I saw personal training as a Ferrari. All right, and a gym membership, I often say, is like buying a Prius at this point. All right, both of them will get you home. One gets you there faster, but the Ferrari's gonna cost you a lot more. So what I did was I took that Ferrari, made it a school bus, and if you don't mind sharing the ride, we'll help you get there with the same speed as you'll get personal training if you can pay attention to follow the program. And that's how we started that boot camp. And then we decided we wanted to make sure that we were in a place where our people could be affected. That was in urban areas where people weren't getting this information about diet and exercise, the importance of it. And that's how we wound up from the back of my car at Powerhouse Southfield down to the Jenkins building in an office room in the basement. From there to Finkel and Linwood in a big warehouse in the middle of nowhere. And then from there to where we were up to COVID on 6 Mile and now to Oak Park High. Trying to get our folk the education, information, and it's been pretty successful, and I'm happy with what's been happening so far.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So, okay, so just for a second, talk about the importance of being a Black-owned business, and of course, this isn't any type of like you accept white, Chinese, whoever. You accept green.
Yes.
So, but I think it's important because I know during the blackout a couple of weeks ago, you had posted a link to over 450 Black businesses, and you weren't on the list. So I messaged them and said, you have to put JC Jones Bootcamp on the list, and they did it immediately. So just for a second, talk about the importance of being a Black-owned business and what does that mean? Well,
I'm gonna tell you, from the time I was 12, I wanted to own my own business. In fact, I started writing JC Jones Incorporated on everything, and it got in my mind because I understood early that the only way for you to actually be free is to have your own. All right, if I don't have my own, then the person that whether they pay me $5 an hour or $50 an hour, they can fire me. And when they fire me, my life changes, and it changes at their whim. All right. In entrepreneurship, as hard as it is, as crazy as it is, you are in control, and we need more of it. When I grew up, when I was growing up, we had little grocery stores, we had candy stores, we had gas stations. In fact, there was like 15 or so Black-owned gas stations around the city when I was coming up. We had we owned things, and there was a certain level of self-respect that was around, and a certain level of power. And to be empowered, you gotta own something. So I tell anybody that if you have the fortitude, the strength, the tenacity, the hustle, all right, to be able to push yourself to get out there, and you have a dream, you need to go for it because we need you to go for it. The sad thing is, too often we find ourselves in a new slavery. And I'm not just talking about the prison industrial complex. I'm talking more about having to work for majority companies and hope that they promote us in their particular organizations. Whereas if we have our own, we can promote our own. We can employ our own. All right. We can help to build our own communities, and that makes a big difference. So I'm all about Black business. I love and embrace everybody else. But because I already know, and I'm already am quite privy to, when you're out here as a Black-owned business, you got a lot of things you're overcoming. Number one, you usually don't have the resources that are available to a lot of others. We started this, like I said, out the back of my car with 6 pair of dumbbells, 6 pair of ankle weights, and six sets of cones. All right. And anything that you see in that building, I bought paycheck by paycheck, dollar by dollar, invested in myself. All right, and every ounce of sweat has been for me putting that what we call sweat equity in to make it happen. And a lot of times we don't have the access to the loans. We don't have the access to the money, the startup money. We don't have the generations of wealth behind us. So in order for my daughters to have the opportunity to do something better, I got to push. And so on and so forth. We're hoping that this continues down the line so that we can own something and have control. Because truth be told, we got a lot of dollars, but they leave our community way too fast.
Yeah. And just so you know, even right now, 2 groups that you introduced me to, Black-owned businesses and Black-owned only, are right now airing this episode.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. Yeah. Those are excellent groups. And I've really been pressing a lot of people toward them. Ellis Island Ice-T is having a phenomenal blow up right now. Kevin Hart picked him up after Beyonce picked him up, and I'm excited about what they're doing. There's some other groups that's on there right now, and I'm loving the idea that we're finally coming to grips with the fact that we can do this together. And if we put our dollars behind each other, we can make a difference, man. I'm gonna hit Steve and his daughter Taylor and give me a keychain. You know, and you see this thing I'm wearing right here. That's Jones Athletic Gear. We got gear out. We got leggings. We got waistbands. We got track suits and that coming out. Again, I'm done with wearing Gucci and all the other names. If it's not my name, or if it's not somebody's name that look like me right now, I'm not interested, because I want to see us propel our names forward and make a difference. And that's not any slight against any other race. That is the fact that it's about time for us to stop wearing Calvin Klein on our butts and start wearing Jackson on it. How about that?
Right.
Even better, Jones on it.
I remember we were in a rehearsal for one of the comedy shows when you announced to us that you were going to be quitting your 9-to-5 job and going full time into JC Jones Bootcamp. And I'll be honest, brother, I was petrified. I prayed so hard. I was like, oh my God.
I appreciate it.
He's like not going down to part-time, like literally quitting a job you had been at for many years. And which was a Black-owned business.
It was
but you wanted your own, and I applaud you for that.
Yeah. Man, listen, it's been, as of this past February, it's been over 7 years that I've been off the nipple of a paycheck. And it's crazy, it's hard. And let me tell you, for those that may be watching this and getting excited and ready to jump, I didn't just jump out there. I took 4 years. There were 4 years, and here's my schedule for that 4 years that I did this. I would go to work. I would go to the gym at 5 a.m. and train people. Leave there at a little after 7:30. Drive down the freeway. Change from my track suit to a suit in a car. Here's a little car, and I'm 6'3". Get down to work. Work there from 8:05 because I've never walked in at 8 o'clock. 8:05 to about 5:25, 5:30, because he wouldn't let you leave at 5 o'clock. At one time, I'd go downstairs to train. Otherwise, I was going back up the freeway, changing from my suit back to my track suit from 6 to 10. Then, if I had a bid due, because I was an estimator for a large Black-owned construction company here in the city, Jenkins Construction. So I may have a bid due, and whether or not I got entrepreneurial pursuits, I owe this man the effort that he's paying for, that I meet these deadlines and we don't miss these bids and get this and missing this money because I'm doing my own thing. So I would literally sometimes have to turn back around and go back in that office and work from midnight to 3 a.m, go back to sleep and get back up and do it all over again. But I did that. I did that for 9 years straight. All right. Until the day that I was able, when it became to where my side business was being hindered by my main job. And when that came to that point, I still tried to linger as long as I could because I felt obligated to the company I was working for. Because you get this, for me, it's a team thing. It's a loyalty thing. And so I really didn't want to leave them, but it was stifling where I could grow. At the time, I was running 2 locations with a full-time job, and it was just too much. And at that point, it was time to make a decision, and I had to give up what was a really decent salary with the risk of, now if I don't kill, I don't eat. But the funny thing about that is necessity is the mother of invention, and you're going to become resourceful when you got it. When it's down to either my family eats, if either I make this happen, my family doesn't eat, all of a sudden you're going to make some things happen. And listen, if I didn't lose a pound, I didn't want to for the past 7 years, though it's been some days. I mean, there's a lot of crying, it's a lot of pain, it's a lot of heartache, a lot of mistakes, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of being scared, but it was worth every minute of it. But you will not succeed by accident. Failure may be accidental, but success is deliberate. Now, I'm not the one that does I'm not the detailed person. I'm the visionary. I can put a vision out there and start making it happen. But I'm gonna tell you what, when it comes down to it, you got to have the ability to do the uncomfortable things, right? Because they got to be done, to make the hard phone calls, to be able to fire some folk, to be able to say goodbye to some people, to be able to keep pushing when you don't feel like pushing. I tell people, feelings will leave you fat and broke, bottom line, because feelings come and they go. But truth be told, motivation, I tell people this all the time, motivation is not a feeling. It's not a feeling. Motivation is a reason that is good enough to make you do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, because you want what you get when you get it done, bottom line. And then what happens is your continuing to move brings progress, and progress brings the feeling we associate with motivation. But then trouble comes and that'll leave, but you got to keep motivated by the reason. So if that made any sense, I'm sorry. Now turn with me in your Bibles tonight.
I can tell that in addition to him being a business owner, boot camp operator, comedian, he's also ordained minister. He's a preacher of the gospel, as well, as you can tell.
It's true. Yeah, but I just believe in it, man. It's scary always, but I look at it every month. My bills are generally paid, and we just keep going. The moment I feel like stopping or quitting, I'll pray and ask him, Lord, we about here now. What you want me to do? And he'll show me every single solitary time. And when I follow him, it works. Bottom line. So it's a walk of faith. When you talk about faith, you find out what faith is when you step out, because we're so used to the comfort of discomfort and the contentment of being discontent. Most people are unhappy with the paychecks. They're unhappy with the jobs, but they're content with being discontent because they can believe it's coming every 2 weeks. They don't make nobody mad, or if something doesn't happen to the company. But a lot of folk found out during this particular catastrophe that you can't depend on none of that.
Right.
And I'm in a better position, as wild as this is, I'm in a better position as an entrepreneur going through this than I would have been as just working for somebody. Well, at least until they cut off the unemployment for the people. Because right now they're eating real good. But no, for real, you're in a better position. And that's just period. Just with the tax laws and everything else, it's just better to be in business. And I'm excited about that. But let me get you going. It's your show.
No, that was excellent, man. I want to make sure that everybody got what he was saying. He didn't just decide one morning, I'm going to quit my job and jump out there and do what he was doing. Literally, it was planning, years of planning to make sure that he had it. So don't get a word from the Lord and jump out there and fail and then blame God for it. So
let me say this. There's a saying, there's a word in the Bible that talks about due season. All right. But what folk don't realize is due season comes after due season, which means due season comes after you have paid them dues. All right. And going and doing that all the extra time, and the time that I could be watching the games and been in every bowling league was a time that I was spending investing from 6 to 10 in what I wanted to do. And that's what you got to do. You got to take that quote unquote free time and you got to make it worth something, make it mean something. And that makes all of the difference.
Amen. Amen. All right, my brother, I'm not going to hold you. I know you have a 7:30 class, so I got a few questions here.
Mm-hmm.
First question is, why is it important for people, particularly Black people? And there's a reason. I don't want somebody out there, why is he making this about race? There's a reason, and I know you're going to deal with it. Why is it important for people, Black people in particular, to be in shape and to take care of ourselves?
Let me tell you, it's important for all Americans, truthfully, because the stats on all of them are horrible. But for us, and when you said this, I wanted to, instead of me just spouting off what I already knew, I went and looked up a few things. Let me run some things by you. First off, during this whole COVID crisis here in Michigan, there was a time where we represented 41% of the deaths in Michigan. That number's down to 29% of the deaths in Michigan. That's a third. All right. But now, when you go on and we talk about, excuse me, it's where the age comes in, y'all. When you go on and talk about obesity, all right, 29% of our kids our young adults from 18 to 34 are obese. All right, considered obese. From ages 35 to 49 is 43%. From ages 50 to 64 is again 43%. All right, inactivity from 18 to 34, 26%. 30% from 35 to 49, and 35% from 50 to 64. All right. Now, let me run through a couple more things. High blood pressure. High blood pressure. From ages 18 to 34, about 12% of African Americans have high blood pressure. From age 35 to 49, it's 33%. From 50 to 64, which is where I am right now, it is 61% of us that have high blood pressure problems. Diabetes, 23% from 50 to 39.
Well, hold on, John.
Yeah.
I want to give the people a visual picture. So you said the high blood pressure from, what was the age? 50 to?
From 50 to 64.
All right.
61%.
That means if you lined up 10 of your friends.
Yes. Six of them. 6 of them.
Would have high blood pressure.
Yep. 6 of them have high blood pressure.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
23%, and that's just one statistic. 23% have diabetes. All right, let me see it. Let me go on over here. Hold on. I got another one here. This was just when I got to look, like, oh my God. 48% of all African American adults are obese. 48%. That's half the population. All right. Women are 40% more likely to die. Black women are 40% more likely to die of breast cancer. Our men are 1.3 times more likely to die of colorectal cancer. All right, which is completely comes from your diet. Here, watch this. Diabetes, 80% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes than white folk. All right, 2.5 or times likely to begin treatment for end-stage renal failure. That means your kidneys are shutting down. And our men are 30% and women 60% more likely to have, again, high blood pressure. And we have twice the risk of first-time stroke. So why is it important for us to get our stuff together? Well, COVID taught us something. Large percentage of the issues we have is respiratory issues with COVID. If your heart isn't strong, if your blood pressure isn't right, and of course, if your immune system is down. And eating a bunch of processed food, being inactive, contributes to all of that. And as well, being on a bunch of medications and things. And when it's funny because, I beat my head against a stone trying to find ways to convince men, Black men especially dudes around my age, that it's important for you to work out. And a lot of times we don't get it. The workouts that we put our folks through at the camp are grueling, they're ridiculous, they're challenging. And I'll be around and we'll have 95% women out there handling it, making it happen, getting healthy, getting strong, coming off of medications. All right. But at the same time, there'll be no men around. And there's nothing fluffy about the workouts we're doing, nothing fluffy about what we're doing. But our guys generally have not been getting it. and I'm praying that the crisis that we dealt with in COVID creates a new mindset where we begin to say, listen, it doesn't matter if we're out running around getting wealth. We're going to spend up our wealth trying to get back our health. And truth be told, if we fall out and have a stroke, we can't do anything. We can't take care of our families. We can't take care of ourselves, and all of that plays to us becoming the victim here. We don't need to be the victim. Literally, I've seen COVID all around me. People come down for our own staff caught it, but they were able to recover quickly because of the fact that their immune systems are up, their diets are on track, and they move, which is the key, is moving. You got to get to move.
Yeah, but John, listen, man. Look, is high blood pressure and diabetes, man. Look, that's hereditary, brother.
Yeah, okay.
Look, man, you know, my mother had it, my grandmother had it. I'm gonna have it. Why am I trying to fight this? It's hereditary.
You know, that's funny. That's what they told me. And a lot of times we accept that and we say, yeah, I'm genetically predisposed to it. Let me tell you something. When I look back on it, my grandfather died of colorectal cancer. And my grandmother died of colorectal cancer. My grandfather died of lung cancer. They both ate the same way. Lots of pork, lots of salt, lots of butter, lots of starchy food. And by and large, by the time they got up here to the north, they did not work out and move. All right. So basically what happened was they created habits, and my mama took on the habits. She ate herself into diabetes early. And by the time that she was in her early 30s, I went to the doctor with her when they told her that she either had to change her diet or get on shots. She never did. She wound up on shots. Thank God for the fact of her being as resilient as she was. She lasted another 40, almost 48 years on bad habits. All right. But when they came to me and told me how hereditary it was, I began to look at it and see that these habits had gone down through generations, and began to realize that perhaps it's not as much hereditary as it is habitual, you know. And so whereas there may be a predisposition in that, we as African Americans, folk don't realize it, but in order to make it across the Middle Passage, you generally had to be able to hold on to carbs. A lot of the people that died couldn't do that. So when they fed them the mush of the oatmeal and the crap that they were feeding them, our ancestors were able to take that, translate that, and use that to burn as fuel and stay alive. All right. Now, the consequence of that is when we take them things in, we take in them sugars, we take in the starchy foods and that, it sticks to us and holds to us in that survival mode, especially during this quarantine when we're not moving around and the body's already in fight or flight. And so we're already predisposed to holding on to those things. And when the body has too much of it, it starts to respond. As well as you got to realize that if you don't keep them arteries clear and clean, you ain't gonna make it. And that really has a lot less to do with your hereditary, with your genetics, and a lot more to do with your habits. All right, we've had people come off blood pressure medications, diabetes medications, including shots inside of 8 weeks, and heart meds in 8 weeks. We've had folk come in after 2 and 3 bypass surgeries and drop 50 some odd pounds. And that's not to tout what we do. That's just to tout the fact that if you get a hold of your act right, which is working out, your eat right, which is a healthy dietary habit on an ongoing basis, then you can get your life right. And that's the biggest thing we need to recognize. Take control of it.
Yeah. So John, let me ask you this, man. Is there a what I've coined as get fit quick scheme? Do any of them work? Can I get a pill that I can eat twice a day and sit down, no exercise, eat what I want to eat, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? They have to work because they're on TV, right? We see them all the time. You get this pill and drink it with a glass of water and the pounds shed off. That's what we want. We want the easy way out. Do any of those work?
Listen, there's a lot of things that you can take to make you lose weight fast. Right. The problem is you can lose weight fast, but will it last? That's the problem. Right. And what we don't realize is when you're taking a lot of these diet pills, and you're taking a lot of these quick fixes, what you're doing is you're damaging your kidney, you're damaging your liver. All these chemicals are reacting with your system. The change of going up and down, fluctuating so quickly and so fast, you're causing trauma to your system that you don't need. It's funny. I hear the word diet, and people say, I don't do a diet. I don't believe in dieting. I just believe in lifestyle change. Well, truth be told, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because a diet is just what you eat, period. You can be on a McDonald's diet. You can be on a Burger King diet. You can be on a fast food diet. You can be on an alcohol diet if all you're doing is drinking all day and night. All right. But a diet is just what you eat. And what we have to do is we have to learn how to build habits that last. We've had people come through and cheat the program and add Adipex and all kind of different fat burners and all this kind of stuff to lose weight. But the problem is, if you don't create regimented dietary habits that you do on an ongoing basis, you can't control your weight. I mean, it only makes sense if I know I have a trip in my car, then I know I got to gas it up. All right. If I don't gas it up, I'm not going to make it. It's the same thing with life. As I go through my day, I need fuel for that day. Food is fuel, and that's bottom line. It's not our friend. It's not our boyfriend. It's not our confidant. It's not a social thing. It is fuel. And when we start looking at it as that, and we start to regulate our eating habits, then what happens is we can regulate our weight. And you can do it within 5 pounds. Listen, I got fluffy at the beginning of COVID. I dropped 18 pounds. Now I'm not fluffy. Now I'm working on the next level, and that's simply because when things got crazy, I had to make an adjustment. You know, with all the stress of being stuck in the house and wondering what's going to happen, you wind up succumbing to wanting to eat more and moving less, obviously, and so you have to make an adjustment. So as we start to adjust, now you can regulate your diet, and that's everything. There's always going to be the latest detox. There's always going to be the latest tea. There's always going to be the latest, I call them boo-boo teas. Always going to be the latest juice. It's always going to be the latest diet. I keep hearing intermittent fasting, like folks throwing it around like it's just the newest, greatest thing. Intermittent fasting works if you know how to eat on a regulated basis, on a regimented basis. If otherwise, if you're not eating between 12 and 8, you're only eating between 12 and 8, you eat one meal, you're jacking your system up. But inside that way, if you know how to get those 4 meals in that time period, then it works great for you. So we have to stop trying to be a microwave type of society. What we try to train our folk to do is to get on a regimen of eating. Right now I'm saying 4 times. Normally I say 5 times a day. Now I'm saying 4 times a day, simply because we're not as active with being in the house more and not being out as much, not moving as much. But get into a habit where you're making sure that you got green leafy vegetables in every meal if possible. That if you're eating meat, that you're actually proportioning it according to your size and what you need. That you're minimizing your starches, all right, and you're making sure you're taking them in early. That you're counting your sugar intake, your sodium intake, and paying attention to it. I tell people this, and this is a real big thing for me. You know, we buy cars, and we buy our cars, and they have specific needs. All right. There's certain oil that your car uses. There's certain gas your car uses sometimes. There's certain transmission fluids, certain brake fluids that you require. And we make sure that we get the things that are necessary for that car. In fact, some of us won't even go to another mechanic to work on the car. We go straight to the dealership because we don't want no trouble. We want to right from the manufacturer. Well, I've had about 15 cars in my lifetime. All right. I only get one of me. But yet we don't pay attention to anything that's going in our system. We don't measure out what's going in to know we're taking in too much or too little. We don't pay attention to the macros and what's inside of the food we're eating. We just take it in, all right? And we jump on whatever's the latest thing out that sounds good, smells good. We jump on it, or tastes good. We jump on it without paying attention to what's in it and how it's going to affect our system. And you only get one of these, all right? You got to take care of it. The more you take care of it, the more it's going to take care of you.
Yeah, I think it's really important for us to be good stewards of the bodies that God has given us.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, us in the church, we ignore that. And I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it as well. My church, at the beginning of the year, we were on a fast, so I lost. I'm gonna tell on myself. I was up to 260. 260. The church went on a fast, so I lost 5
your territory.
I lost 5 pounds, so I was down to 255, and then COVID hit, and now I'm sitting at home eating like crazy, and I ended up gaining 15 pounds. So now I'm at 270. John, I have a son on the way. I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
I have to be able to be there for him.
Yep.
So my wife and I have been talking about me, because she's fine, but me making some major lifestyle changes. So I have an announcement at the end of the show, but I definitely want you to just go ahead and tell us right now, what do we need to do? The reason I said all of that is because I want people to relate to me.
Yeah.
You even mentioned you had got up to, what was it, 270?
Yeah. Oh, I got when I initially, before I lost my weight, I got up to 290 at one time. During COVID, I went back up to 252, which was scary. At that point, I started getting my little Elvis belt around the sides real good. My back hurts worse, and everything. And I got there's a lot of physical issues that if I don't keep my body moving, I'm in trouble. Sarcoidosis, sciatica. All right, which literally takes numbness all the way down through from my butt down to the bottom of my legs sometimes, where I cannot even move unless I keep moving. All right. Degenerative disc disease, they told me I got. I forgot what else. Arthritis, pick it. It's in there. All right. So literally, I have to move.
Yes.
So so when it came down to the COVID thing, the first week that I was in here, I had both Mike and Keisha, two of my instructors, were out with COVID, and I had to teach every class. And this time, because we're online, and at the time we didn't have Zoom, so I couldn't watch the people work out. I had to do all the workouts.
Wow.
Coming off of that 252, so it was quite an ordeal. But continuing to work through it, got it down. And so, like I said, I'm down 18. I got my next goal. I'm about 7-8 pounds from it, and then we're gonna keep on pushing through. But here's what I think we need to do, especially as men. A lot of times our women get it, but we really need to do is we need to set out time that we dedicate to exercise. Number one. All right. And I say that number one because that's the part we neglect so often. All right. Sometimes we'll do a diet and we'll get on a diet if we have something we're trying to work for, but we won't regiment that time for exercise. I need to regiment it like going to work. There, where it's not a negotiable. It's not something that I have a client right now that's with me 6 days a week. And when he can't get out to the track, I send him his workout, right? And he sends me back a picture of him sweating to show me that he got it done. And sometimes it's 2 a.m. But he's decided that he's going to continue this regiment on an ongoing basis so that he gets the desired effect of being healthy and make it happen. And we have to do that. We have to treat it like that because we have to add the importance to it. A lot of times, and especially in the church, we go back and because that one scripture that says a bodily exercise profiteth little, we don't pay attention to it. But the little is a lot when you start thinking about the fact that if my body ain't working, my mind ain't gonna work too much longer. All right. So we have to take that time. Women, especially our mothers. I know it's rough. A lot of times you may not have the help of the father or the man in the house to help you get through it, but you got to regiment that time because again, if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of them. And get physical, get moving. And once you get moving, don't stay in your comfort zone. You got to start finding things that challenge you. That once it gets too easy, you move on to the next challenge. Now that's on the exercise end. The other end, which is the most important end, 85% of it is we got to get regimented eating habits. Now, for 25 years, I didn't cook because I didn't have to. Now what's happened is I'm forced to eat to survive. When I talk to my ex, she kind of laughs and wants to slap me at the same time when she hears about the stuff I'm over here cooking and learning to cook and how often I'm on the grill now. Because I've determined I got to take control of my diet if I'm going to live this healthy lifestyle. I can't depend on restaurants. I can't depend on women cooking. I can't depend on nobody else taking care of me. I got to get in there as tired as I am, running the schedule I schedule. I have to every Sunday or Saturday get back out there, get on that grill, make it happen, put it together for the week because I have to be regimented in my eating. So everything, the bridge between where you are and where you want to be is discipline. Bottom line. And we need to get some discipline. The same way we discipline about going to work, we have to be disciplined about going to work out and disciplined about making sure we have the food necessary on an ongoing basis for what we got to do. We got to pack our lunches, pack our breakfast, make sure that we're taking the stuff in, and just decide that there's something we want so bad that we're willing to do this stuff, and we don't feel like doing it when we're tired, when everything is going wrong, when the job is calling, when the kids are calling, everything else. We gotta have a good enough reason to make it happen. And if we can do that, then we can win. And that's something, especially as men, we want to set the example for. It's discipline. Bottom line, it's discipline. And a lot of that's what's missing from us is the fact that we need to be more disciplined. And the way you do that is find some reason big enough to make you do it when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. Man, that's excellent, man. So before we end, we got about 10 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, type them in quick. I'll try to show them if they pop up on my screen for John. But John, you mentioned this here. This motto is your motto.
Yes.
And it says act right plus eat right equals get right.
Yep.
No challenge, no change.
Yeah.
So I love that slogan. Just talk about that slogan and what you talked a little bit about it. Like, what can we do to start the process of getting into shape? Yeah.
Well, act right really speaks to moving. To moving. Basically, it's action. Right action is what it basically is, and that's moving. Let's get moving. If you're not doing anything, start walking. If you start walking and walking gets too easy, go from walking to running. If you're running and you need something else to go on, then go off and do some other things. It could be a camp. It can be some weight training. It could be some crossfitting. Just do something. Get active, and then do that. What we say that success is a matter of being consistent, persistent, and resilient. What does that mean? Consistent. Do what you do all the time. A lot of times when I set up these class schedules, folk will hit me and say, "Oh, it's raining. We still having class, or we're doing this. This happened. You're still having class. This day is coming. You're still having class." And the answer is 99.9% of the times, yes. We don't take snow days. We don't take rain days because your fat ain't taking no snow day. Your fat ain't taking no rain days, and goals don't go on sale. All right, sweat equity is currency of change. So act right means action right, or right action. So you got to have the action, you got to have the movement, the motion, you got to keep in motion and moving. But that's not enough. I got a ton of people around that are what I call workout heads, where you just work out everywhere. You go out to 7 different workouts a week, 7 different places. You leave one place, work out here and work out there, and then work out here over. And there's a great feeling of fulfillment in having done hard workouts and all this. But then they go back and they eat ice cream, they eat cake, they eat cookies, they eat garbage, and their bodies don't change. Right? Literally, you can do every app challenge that Facebook comes up with, and you're still going to be fluffy at the end of the day because your body's going to build up enough strength and stamina to do what you're doing. But if you don't eat right, or right eating, or have right eating habits, or habits that help you to build the muscle and burn the fat, then you're going to stay fluffy. And that's bottom line. I've seen that a million times where folk can move like crazy. I mean, they hitting pads hard, they're running hard, they make it happen, get all the way through class, but their bodies never change. And you done seen them at them gyms. Their bodies never change. What the hell going on? And what it is they haven't changed their eating habits. And eating is 85% of this whole process. It's 85% of it. Bottom line, act right plus eat right equals get right. And that's the bottom line of it is you got to do it all together. You can't do, I hear people all the time that I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Well, yeah, you can. You just won't. And can and won't is 2 different things. And we have to reprogram ourselves to where we tell our bodies what to do, not our bodies tell us. Because oftentimes the bodies will tell us, my body tells me Cold Stone, but I can't go eat Cold Stone. My body tells me Dutch Girl. I can't go to Dutch. I can't even go Dutch Girl because the girl in Dutch Girl know who I am. So no, but bottom line is, you got to have right action plus a plan, and you got to put it into action. And that's what it is. Act right plus eat right equal get right. There's no getting around it. And no challenge, no change. What that means is you've got to push yourself. All right. Bottom line. Yeah. Discomfort is the catalyst for change. You got to push it. You got to be okay with being uncomfortable. If you want, and that translates to anywhere in life. If you want to change your body, you got to be willing to be uncomfortable because you have to push your body. We do in our camp is we build the atmosphere for change. We challenge your body, then your body goes back, and your mind goes back and says, I can't have this It's happening to me again. So I'm going to rebuild to meet the challenge you put on it. And when we come back, we challenge it again a different way. And so it constantly has the need to build, but now you take the food and you fuel that change, all right, with the food, and that builds the muscle, burns the fat off, all right? But you got to challenge. If you're not challenging yourself, you won't change because the body's going to adjust to whatever you're doing. People say to me, you know, I work out, I walk all day at work. But your body's used to that.
Yeah.
So you can stay just as fat, you know, and just as unhealthy, walking in miles a day you walk at work. But until you challenge it to do something it ain't doing, it's not going to change. We have to be willing to embrace that.
You know, there was something you used to always say to me, and we're almost out of time. I want to show some pictures. But before I do, you got to touch on this. And I think this is the mixture of the act right plus the eat right is food preparation, which is my worst problem. So please just talk a little bit about being prepared. You talked about that at the beginning, being prepared to come off of your job. Just like that, we have to be prepared in our bodies if we're going to do this.
There's no getting around it. It is tedious. It's tedious. It's tiresome. It's not something that you necessarily want to do if you're especially not the one that likes to cook. I do not like to cook. But the bottom line is this: in order for me to be able to function, or you to be able to function during the week, you cannot be running around trying to figure out what restaurant I can eat at right quick. The moment you start getting impulsive with your eating habits, you take the control off of your change. Bottom line. So what you need to do is, number one, get your food scale. Right, get your food scale. Digital food scale costs about $15 at Walmart. When you cook your food, you want to begin to measure it out. Find out what should be my level of protein, my carbs, or what we call our starches carbs, and then what's my level of green leafy vegetables. All right, and I say green leafy because often we avoid the green leafies and look for the zucchinis and that, and you're not getting what you need. You need them green leafy vegetables, and you need that fiber. You need to be moving. All right, and you got to get that stuff. And you got to, when you go to the grocery store, and we do grocery store field trips just for this reason. When you go to the grocery store, never go hungry, go with a plan. And you plan out basically my meals for the week. What am I going to need to make these meals happen for the week? Sometimes you're cooking once a week, sometimes you're cooking twice a week. All right, depending on what you're cooking. But you got to take them hours, put them in, get on the stove, get on the grill, put it together. Put it in the refrigerator. If you got to package it, if you got to take it to that level, then you get the little food packs. In fact, give me 1 second, Lavell. I'm gonna grab some.
Okay. So I really hope you all are getting this. This is good stuff. Something that I definitely need as I'm about to become a father. I want to be able to keep up with my son. You know, I'm sure he's gonna be running around like crazy, and I have to be able to, keep up with my son. So this is really good stuff, and I really hope that you all are really, really getting this.
Yes, and so listen, these little packs here, I think Costco I may have paid, $9, 25 of these suckers. But what I do, I take my stuff, my vegetables go in, my meat goes in. If I got starch, it goes in. I put it right here, pop. Boom. Summertime, I got a container that keeps it hot. I put about 2 or 3 of these in, or whatever it is I got to do. You got them, you take them with you. Bottom line, you got to start preparing. Whatever your lot in life is, wherever, the hardest, of course, is with nurses and that. But whatever your lot in life is, you got to learn how to make these lifestyle habits work inside the parameters of where you are. There is no excuse for saying I can't. You got to find a way to do it. Bottom line, because your life is your life. And if you want to live it, you want to create the atmosphere to live your life the best as possible. The statement that everybody's running around talking about living my best life. You're responsible to make that happen. In order to make that happen, you got to prepare. You don't feel like it, it's going to be a while before you start really seeing the results you're looking for. But when you look, that day you look in that mirror and you realize that your pants are too big, and you realize that your shirt now fits that didn't fit before, and you realize that the doctor just told you that you no longer need that medication. That's the day that we call a payday for you doing what you didn't feel like doing when you didn't feel like doing it. It's all worth it. Never, ever, ever give up on you. You deserve to win, but you only deserve to win if you do what it takes.
All right. So listen, I want to get to these pictures, but I do have a question.
Go ahead.
My mother sent the question here. She says, are you able to tailor some exercises for people that have some physical challenges, such as back problems, herniated discs, degenerative disc disease in the back?
Oh, I got that.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the answer is yes. And our motto is: you do what you can, take and do what you want to. Never do less than you're capable of, and always do more than enough. So as long as our staff knows what your challenges are, we tailor exercise for you. Your body's gonna respond to what you can do, not what I can do. Now you'll see on the videos, we got folk doing all kind of crazy stuff. That may not be you. We had folk with a power wheel going up a hill this past weekend. Everybody didn't do that. Our beast did that, but not everybody did that. I did that reluctantly after seeing, all the women did. I had no choice, but then I had to take that 230 pounds up that hill. But that's not necessarily for everybody. So we also have Zumba. We got hip hop step, which are lower impact type of things as well. We tailor things to structure what you can do. We got folk in their 70s that kill it around here. So yes, you can do something. I think your mom was with us before for a minute.
Yes. Yep. Me, my mother, my uncle, my wife, and my pastor.
Yeah. So she knows how we get down. We could tailor things to work with just about anybody now. There are some instances, of course, where you may need personal training, but those are far and few between. We had a young lady who we had to sit her on a stability bar because she couldn't stand because of her knees. And inside of 10 weeks, she dropped 10 inches off her waist still. Wow. So we can work you wherever you're at.
All right. Listen,
it's all about a wheel.
I got to get to these pictures because I know you got to go.
Okay.
But listen, I think I'm going to show this first picture. And this first picture is where most of us are now. So this is where we have to be careful. The new Think About It 90-day challenge. Results are guaranteed. That's how you look before. That's how you look after.
Exactly.
That's how you look. That's the new Think About It challenge, right? So if you just thinking about it, no, we got to do it. We got to move.
Exactly.
But these are some of the pictures from your boot camp of people. And now I know sometimes we see these before and after pictures on TV, and we're like, oh no, they had to make those up. The funny thing is, out of these 10 pictures I'm about to show, I know at least 5 of these ladies. I literally saw them. The first one is your daughter, and look at this, y'all. March of 2013 to March of 2014.
Well, let me tell you, she took off 110 pounds in 5 months. Was crazy proud of her. Wow. Just phenomenal job. 110 pounds in 5 months. And literally she did a lot of it quietly. We didn't realize what she was doing. She was in here preparing her meals. She was coming to the camp 4 times a week and working out again another 1 or 2. The last 2 months where she did the last 20 some odd pounds, she was back at college. You know what it's like trying to maintain a diet there. So, and it's all about, again, act right plus eat right equal get right. I was crazy proud of her. Now she's
All right, here's the next one. This is from September 11th to January.
This young lady came to us. She dropped 65 pounds in 12 weeks. When I tell you she followed that thing to a T, she followed that diet program, anything she was doing. There was a period where she had stagnated for a second. She asked the questions. I told her what she was doing. She was chewing hummus every day and during the day and not realizing that chickpea is a carby bean and it was slowing her down. Cut it out. 12 weeks later, that picture on the right is what she looked like. Wow. And right now today, and this has been 6 years ago. In fact, I saw her last year around this time or so, still the same size.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, here's the next one. From flab to fab.
Yeah, that's Tat. Tat dropped 105 pounds with us. She was a part of our wonderful Tat Shanita duo. She wound up being a trainer with us. She was a trainer at Wayne State as well. But 105 pounds it's again a phenomenal job, and it was in under a year.
Wow. All right, here's the next one. Act right plus eat right equals get right. 364 pounds down to 152 pounds.
This woman is amazing. Her inspiration is phenomenal. When I tell you she was 364 pounds, is the first time we bought a 120-inch tape measure, because when I went to measure her waist, we had to literally hold a finger and take the 60-inch tape around again, because her waist was 62 inches. She dropped 212 pounds in 10 months. Now, let me tell you the real deeper thing about this. She was on 14 medications. She had a malignant brain tumor, an abusive husband, and all kind of craziness. Tore 2 meniscus in the process. Still, 212 pounds in 10 months. Right now, she's about 30 pounds above this after picture. So she's only put on 30 of them pounds. And that picture was taken about 6-7 years ago.
Wow. That is awesome. All right. Next one. 277 pounds down to 180 pounds.
16 weeks for 4 months.
Wow. Almost 100 pounds.
28 to a 10.
Wow.
4 months. 4 months. Phenomenal.
All right. Here's the next one.
Killer T. This is my buddy. She's one of, we call them the Warrior Twins. It was 2 sisters that came in. One sister was a biscuit under 200. She ate the biscuit, so she was a little over 200. She dropped a little over 60 some odd pounds with us. Still working out, still fit, still looks like that picture after picture right now today.
Now her sister, is that the one leaning on the locker?
Yes.
Let me show that one now. Now this is her sister.
Yes, that is my other buddy Tanisha. We call her Warrior Queen. Warrior Queen went on from there. She was just under 200, dropped 70 pounds with us, became a trainer with us. And now she's gone on. She's done bodybuilding competitions, and there's one, I think it's in figure competitions. And I'm just excited about how she took that lifestyle and they both took it and made it a part of their lives. And that's what it's all about. Because when you leave us, we want you better when you leave us than you were when you came. All right. We want you to be able to, even if you fall off, to know what to do to get back on.
All right. I got 3 more. I got to get you out of here. Look at that.
That was 4 weeks worth of work.
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Wow.
4 weeks. 4 weeks. She did that in 4 weeks. She literally followed everything to the T for those while she stayed like that for a minute, but she followed it for a T for 4 weeks, and that was one of the most amazing 4-week transformations we've seen. But she's phenomenal.
All right.
Great job. Excellent.
All right. Here we go. Size 14 down to a size 4.
Yep, that's TP26. That's I used to call her Kato. She became my right hand. When she got there, she just wanted to tuck her shirt in. So all she was trying to do was tuck her shirt in. She was size 14. 8 weeks, and this is before we refined the diet program. 8 weeks from a 14 to a size 8. She landed at a size 4 and stayed there for about 5 years. Phenomenal job, phenomenal inspiration. Was taking care of her niece's kids at the time and working and trying to keep it together, taking care of her mom and so on. You can do it with whatever your challenges are, whatever your life is. You just have to find a way to make fitness and health a part of your life.
All right, here's the last one.
Kisa, hydraulic. In fact, hydraulic just finished the class just a minute ago. She dropped 100 pounds with us.
Wow.
100 pounds with us. Yep. Taught with us, got into a car accident, put on about 70 of them pounds, and is now taken off about 50 of them. Wow. So she had to come back and do it twice, which, and I'm going to say this to a lot of folk that have either come to us before or been somewhere before and fell off or lost it, that you can get back, but you have to be willing to humble yourself. You got to be willing to go from where you were in the front, making it happen, and you were the star of the class, to be okay with, I'm not that no more. My station has changed. My place has changed. Now I got to work my way back into where I need to be. And right now I need to be in the middle of the movement, making it happen. And that's exactly what it takes. I'm so proud of her because she was able to do that, where a lot of our old superstars that had fallen off haven't been able to do, or were afraid to do, or couldn't take the idea of not being in the forefront for a time. And you just got to get your ego out the way and say, my health is worth more than any of that. And if you do that and got that mindset, you can win at anything.
Yes, sir. All right, listen, I got to give the people your information. I clipped this from your page. Hopefully this is still in effect.
Yep.
Okay, so
actually we're out there every day now.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Excellent. So we're at Oak Park High School track Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m., 10 a.m., and 6 p.m. And then Saturday at 7 a.m. We also do classes at Beverly Hills Village Park. If they go to on Facebook, official JC Jones Bootcamp page, The information is in almost every post. It's $50 for 4 weeks to join us, and you get access to our outside classes and our online classes. Every time we do an outside class, with the exception of 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock on Fridays, it's broadcast live. And we have an archive in our private Facebook group of about 210 workout videos that we've done through this whole COVID situation that you can access at any time, including the diet seminar on the diet program that comes with the membership. It's again, $50 for 4 weeks, no commitment, no contract. You sign up many times as you want to, and that's why we're in here and we're not in our building. You can take advantage of these prices. And literally, like I said, we've had people go from 20s to 12s, 18s to 10s, 16s to 8s inside of 8 weeks. You can literally take 4 inches off your waist in 4 weeks if you follow directions. You can do it. And whether you do it with me or do it somewhere, you need to become healthy. All right, get it together. All right.
All right. In preparation for the show, I've been working out, John.
All right. All right.
All right.
Oh, here it comes.
I want to show the people.
There it is. Y'all. He's nothing, girly boy.
Listen, John, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. I talked to my wife about this. This is what I want to do.
Okay.
Since this show comes on every week, people will be able to see me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join. I'm going to pay the $50.
Okay.
For 4 weeks, for a month, the whole month of August. The baby is scheduled to get here September 6th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up. I'm going to act right. I'm going to eat right.
There it is.
And I'm going to get right. And the people are going to be able to see this week by week. So I'm going to send you a message, and I'm going to send you my money, and I'm going to do this live on Zoom with you, and I am going to make a difference. I want the people to be able to see it. So that was my special announcement, and that's what I'm going to do.
I love it. I love it. So we'll get your before measurements, and every week we'll see that progress. That's accountability. I love it.
Yes,
so
sir.
4 weeks from now, 4 inches. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Bill, thank you so much for having me on, man. I've enjoyed myself immensely. I'm excited about change. I'm excited about folk catching on. If one person heard this message and goes out and does something, my living is not in vain. Thank you so much, brother.
Appreciate you, my brother. I'm going to continue I know you got to go. I'm going to make sure they get all your information. Okay.
All right. Love you, Doc.
Love you too, bro. All right. So listen, you all saw the pictures. You all saw the testimonies, and these, like I said, as we were going, we literally saw these people. Like, these are people that I, saw myself. So to see those before and after pictures are not fake. They're not doctored up. They are literally exactly what they say they are. So contact John Jones. If you're watching this on Facebook, go up to the search tab, put in @official JC Jones Bootcamp fan page. His information to come up. All of that stuff that I was posting, the prices, the days and the time. He just said Monday through Friday. They're 5 o'clock in the morning. Or 5:30 in the morning, and I think he said 10, and then again in the evening. So he has classes tailored for everybody. If you pay the $50 for a whole month, you have access to all of his Zoom videos, and you can go on there, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm excited about it. So make sure you put in the @official JC Jones Bootcamp fan page on Facebook. You can go on Instagram and see some of these pictures that I posted. JC Jones _bootcamp on Instagram. And you can call. If you're watching this on YouTube, call 313-342-8195. Again, 313-342-8195 to make sure that you get to take advantage of what's going on at JC Jones Bootcamp. So listen, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank God for my special guest, John C. Jones from JC Jones Bootcamp. So please make sure, I'm going to give this information one more time. You can follow John. It's actually John Cortez Jones is his personal page. But if you want his bootcamp's page, it's official JC Jones Bootcamp fan page on Facebook, or you can go on Instagram, JCJones_bootcamp, or you can call 313-342-8195. He has some incredible deals. $50 for a whole month of workout, and you have access to everything. You can work out at your leisure. You may be working from home, and you may work 7 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. You can go on Zoom and watch the videos and work out with John. Preferably it'd be live, whatever, however you want to do it. He has it tailor-made just for you. Amen. So that's it. Again, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in to the show. Thank you all so much for watching. Mama Betty said it was an awesome show. My mother said great show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And listen, we're going to see what happens. I threw myself out there now. I'm so proud of Mama Betty. Every day she would text us or put on Facebook that she got her 10,000 steps in. She made sure that she got her 10,000 steps in. So I'm so proud of her, and I'm going to take a page out of her book. My mother used to always tell me, Lavell, you have to change your eating habits if you want to lose weight. Working out or doing these quick fixes, it's going to be temporary. So my mother used to always tell me, you have to change your eating habits. And that's not hard, because we like to eat, and we like to eat what we like to eat. Period. That's just the way it is, And so anyway, I'm throwing myself out there. I'm going to join JC Jones Bootcamp online, and I am going to try to shed some pounds. He said, if I do it properly, I can drop 4 sizes down before little Emmanuel Lavell gets here. Amen. So we're going to see what happens, y'all. I'm excited about it. Now, listen, make sure you tune in next week. I'm going to be rolling out something brand new. I'm going to actually be rolling out my new logo. So these are the Kneel Down Production logos. I'm keeping those for Kneel Down Productions, but I actually have a new logo being made right now for Quarantine with Lavell. So I'm going to be rolling that out, and I'm going to be talking to my wife. We're going to have a very special conversation. She has no idea what I have in store for her. It's going to be a surprise. So make sure you tune in next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on the Kneel Down Productions Facebook group page. And if you're on YouTube, it's LNeal23, LNEAL 23. And of course, don't forget, you can always go to the website, which is kneeldownproductions.com. And then click on the quarantine tab to get all the information for the show. I post each week. I post the previous week's show and the commercial for the upcoming week. So yeah, I'm excited. So make sure you go to kneeldownproductions.com to make sure you stay in the loop. And that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. If you all wouldn't mind going back and doing a watch party, I think people need to get this information. Share this on your Facebook pages or in any groups that you're in to make sure that people get this information. I appreciate you all, and I thank God for all of you all tuning in. You all have been so faithful in following the show, and I cannot thank you all enough. So again, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week, Thursday, July the 30th, 6:30 p.m. right here on Quarantined with Lavell. God bless you.